Hi guys, Jeff at Slavens Racing. In this video I'd like to sort out some of the myths, misconceptions, and BS out there about the oil pumps and adding oil to the gas tank on the TPI models. The 150 XCW, 250 and 300 TPI models from KTM and Husky brands, and the new gas models, 21 gas, which are just red KTMs. So we get calls on this almost daily, emails, I see postings on it well, first let's start with the oil pump. But before we start with that, I think it's always good to understand how things work before you work on them. Otherwise you're just a parts changer, and if something doesn't work out right, you don't know how to sort it out and figure out the problem. So on two-strokes, on KTM two-strokes, some of the other Yamahas are different, but on KTMs, well, let's start with carburetor models. You know, the carburetor would be right here. So fuel with oil in it and air comes through the reeds, down into the cases, and then the piston comes down and compresses that mixture that's in the cases. And what it does, it pushes it up to the transfer ports. That's these two ports are the transfer ports. There's two more over here, and then there's one on the intake side here. And then that fuel and air mixture is transferred to the top of the piston here, the piston crown. And then the piston comes up, compresses it, the spark plug fires, and that's how the motor runs. So on the TPI models, it's just a little bit different, and that is the throttle body here only brings in air. So the air comes through the throttle body into the reeds, down into the cases, transfers up just like the method I just told you before, just a minute ago. And then the fuel is injected right here through the transfer port injection system. That's what TPI stands for. It's transfer port injection. It means the fuel is transferred into or is injected into the transfer ports, which are right there. Over here I've got a cylinder just upside down so you can see the transfer ports. These two, this one, and these two are the transfer ports. And then you can see the other ports down inside there. Right there, like I just showed you on my bike. So if you understand how that works, then you have to wonder, how would adding oil to the gas tank do anything? Well, it doesn't. It's a scam. You know, there's a guy out there selling filters with larger microns to pass oil molecules so that you can allegedly run oil in your gas tank and keep your bike better lubricated. Well, how would it do that? So that mixture would come through the injectors, which means it never gets down below here to where the main bearings are, the big end and the small end rod bearings are, and the piston skirt. And you get seizures on the skirt of the piston, not on the crown. It's the skirt that swells up and seizes. The crown has nothing to do with it. So adding oil into the gas and having it come into the crown of the piston does almost nothing. You get a extremely minimal benefit, I guess. There'll be a little mist that will get on the cylinder wall above the piston, but then it gets just shot right out the exhaust port. And it never gets to the piston skirt because the skirt doesn't come up that high. And it doesn't get to the rod bearings or the main bearings. So there is absolutely no benefit in doing that. It does not work. It's total BS. All right, let's move on to the next thing, and that is the oil pump. Well, it's buried down in there. I'm not going to try to show you that, but it is down in there. But you can see that little line right there, and that is the oil line that goes to the throttle body. And that oil mixes with the air that's coming through the throttle body, goes down into the cases, down here, and lubricates the bearings, the piston skirt, the cylinder wall, and does a great job doing it. Those oil pumps work just fine. They're very simple, and they're very unlikely to fail. Although anytime you produce thousands and thousands of a product, there's going to be, you know, a few bad ones in there. There's just no way around that. It happens on everything that's manufactured. So I'm sorry if you guys have gotten one of those pumps. I got actually a friend who got a bad pump and tore up his motor pretty good. But for the most part, there's no problem with the system. I've got customers and friends that have got hundreds of hours on these TPI models, and they haven't even changed their pump. KTM recommends doing it around 80. You know, if that makes you feel good, then you should change it at 80. It probably doesn't need to be changed that soon, but it sure as heck won't hurt anything. They're not that expensive. I don't remember what they are, $100 or something. But at that same time, you probably want to do a top-end rebuild and you know, just freshen up everything. And then a lot of the inquiries we get about the pumps are, you know, can we make the stock pump with the stock ECU pump out more oil? Because they still think they need more oil. Well, with the stock ECU, you cannot. It is what it is. If you want more oil, you can do it with the Get ECU. We can do it in the programming, but you can't do it on the phone app. But unless somebody really is pushy about that and really wants that change, we don't, because I've not seen any need for there to be more oil in there. So I think that answers that about adjusting the pump, about the longevity of the pump, when to change it, and then all the BS about adding oil to the gas tank. And I hope this makes you guys understand this. You know, once you understand how the engine works, well, then you'll clearly understand that adding oil to the tank on a TPI model is not going to do anything. And all it's going to do is lighten your wallet if you buy one of those filters. So guys, don't forget while you bought your bike, you know, don't obsess about every little detail on it. It doesn't have to be perfect to go riding. Best thing you can do is ride. Just get some throttle therapy and shred some rubber. I mean, you buy tires to wear them out, and you bought the bike to have fun. So get out there and shred some rubber. Help out with the trails. Be a good trail ambassador. Don't be rude to other trail users. If there's people hiking, or you know, especially if they have dogs with them or little kids, stop, shut off your motor, let them walk by. Same way with horses. You know, just be polite. That's all there is to it. Just be polite. And then also don't tear up the trails. If you have an incident where you run off the trail and you got to dig a big trench with your rear tire to get back up on the trail, well then stop, go back and fix the trench. I mean, fix the damage you just did. If you want nice trails, then you have to do your part to keep them that way. And also, please don't cut switchbacks or go off the trail to pass your buddy or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just damaging the trail, especially in the mountain states. In the high alpine areas, that stuff takes years to recover. And so I'm sorry guys, I'll get off my soapbox and let you get out and ride. That's all for now.